I got $1.
Guess what, Joe? I got $1 too.
What should we do?
What would Maymay do?
Yeah, what would she do?
Decorate. I got $1. I got $1. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey guys, it's Maymay again, and tonight I'm going to do kind of an old school little craft. That's my light blinking, sorry about that. This is kind of decoupage, and I'm going to do something I know you've all seen before where you kind of make a plate riser out of taking a plain glass plate and then gluing it onto a candlestick, and then you have a little plate riser. If I turn it sideways, you can see how that works, which that's really cute, just like that. But we're going to dress that up a little bit. And I'm actually using this smaller plate and one larger glass dinner plate. And I will show you the dinner plate as we get going, but we're going to start working on the smaller plate. And here's what you want to do. First thing is you want to pick your paper. And I've picked this paper. I want to show you how pretty it is under that glass plate. I just think that looks kind of like fine china. So here's what you do. You're going to pick the corner or whatever section of the plate you really like. I'm going to go right about here. And you want to freehand this part of the project. And you want to go out. I like to go almost an inch out and just kind of give myself a rough estimate of about an inch circle. Just to be safe. I just don't need this whole piece of paper. So we're really just being, you know, careful. All right, so then we're going to cut that out. A couple things you're going to need. You're going to need some decoupage medium. I'm going to use Mod Podge, and my Mod Podge is, the one I'm using is the gloss finish. And the reason for that is this paper has glitter on it, and I wasn't sure about using it because I'm not completely sure how it was going to stick. But I think that gloss will help it stick. So I'm going to use the gloss one because I want the glitter to show. I don't want to mattify it whenever I put the matte on there. Okay, so that's how we start. That's a good circle, isn't it? So that's how we get started. And the next thing you want to do, I'm going to move this out of the way. Now, I've protected my work surface with wax paper. I tend to like to do that. It's kind of cheap and easy, you know, throwaway product that things don't stick to. And I'm going to turn my plate upside down, and I've already cleaned this plate and dried it so that everything will stick to it well. Okay, next thing is I'm going to, and I'm pouring some of my Mod Podge out onto the side, onto a little platter I've got over here. And I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to put it on kind of heavy, and you'll see why. You normally do decoupage with paper, and I'm using cardstock because I love that cardstock. So I'm kind of pushing the boundaries of if this is going to work or not. You know, like that cardstock's a good bit thicker than paper, and my Mod Podge has yuck in it. It's kind of old. It's been sitting around a while. So, good thick layer. I know it's going to look like a lot, but you know it will dry clear, and the more you have, the easier it is to manipulate the paper once it's on there. So that's a pretty good thick layer. Then I'm going to take the paper that I cut and place it on top, and I want to feel and make sure, I think I'm going to move it over a little bit. Make sure I have room for all the way around. And then I'm going to mash it down really good in the middle. Really good. Okay, that's part one. Now, the thing I'm going to do that's a little bit different, because like I said, this is cardstock. I'm going to try something a little different. I have got some water left over from a paint project I did earlier. I'm just going to moisten the back of this paper, and you'll see why. I feel like when you moisten the cardstock, it gives you a good bit more pliability to it. So we're just moistening. You can do this before you put it on if you want to, but you see how it kind of makes the cardstock a good bit softer? So it's just really a lot more malleable this way. I'm not trying to get it too wet, like I'm not trying to pour water on it, I'm just trying to get it to where it will soften up a little bit for me. You want to make sure you get everything kind of even, because one thing about Mod Podge, if your paper's different in any place, it's going to adhere different. So let's get these edges good. Okay, so that's pretty soft. And now what you want to do is take your scissors and you're going to come out here at the edge and you're just going to let them touch the plate and slice. Okay, you're going to do that all the way around the plate, just in about 2 or 3 inch sections. So you're going to push it up in there, let it touch the plate and slice so you're getting to the middle. Lift that paper, lift up and slice. Same thing. You don't want to use your best scissors for this because you will get some Mod Podge on them, but it's not going to hurt them. You can always wipe it off. All right, and now what you want to do is start with one piece and press it into that Mod Podge you have on the bottom. And you want to do it where you're pushing all those air bubbles out. But because this cardstock is wet, you don't want to rub too much. Then you want to overlap those edges a bit. So you're going to pick, it's kind of like wrapping a gift. You're going to put one side under and lift one side up. That's really sticking good. Okay, we're going to keep turning, pressing down, and then letting this side overlap. And because I have such a strong pattern, you're not going to see, you know, where those lines overlap. Again, pressing here, pressing down. I want that one to go under. And I really like some of this Mod Podge just squirting out the edges, and that doesn't bother me because I want to use it to seal those. Now we're going to make sure that these overlap without tearing. And smash it down. Now the thing you want to do is make sure that it's smashed everywhere because you want to get air bubbles out. If you have a brayer, this is a good time to use a brayer because you can just roll that and not rub the paper too much. And just go ahead and roll it down the edges. And now when you get to the edge of the plate, you want to use your fingers and make sure you have that all the way to the edge. You see how I'm starting to see the plate underneath? You see how it's starting to show? That's cool. That's what we want it to do. And keep doing that all the way around. All right, now I'm going to make sure that it's not stuck to my wax paper. Take that off of it, because in some places it is. Just get it there and get that off. And that's okay that tore, because it's not something we're going to use anyway. And look at the inside. It's so pretty. I got some glue squirting out. I'm going to go ahead and clean that off, but you know we can clean that off at any time. Okay. And you just want to let that dry. And it's probably going to take it a while to dry. Look underneath too to make sure you got those air bubbles because you don't want to be disappointed. See, I've got some I need to move around. This is going to be really pretty when it dries. Alright, so let this dry. Do your bigger plate exactly the same way. And I'll see you back to put them together once they're dry. Okay guys, so now this is all dry and I'll show you. It's really stiff and all the way to the edge. I think that's so pretty. Look how good it looks under there. And you can still, because I use the gloss finish Mod Podge, I use this one, the gloss finish. Because I did that, you can see the glitter now. And they're that pretty, but the glitters don't get on your food. So your next step is this. You want to take some scissors and go to the edge of your dish and just cut that away right to the edge. And it's really stiff. Okay, and if you have any little pieces sticking out, just get in there. You don't want to leave too much at this point. I mean, we're going to get rid of all of it in just a few minutes, but I'm going to try to get as much as you can with your scissors. So now what I'm going to do, I have this, it's essentially a nail file, but it's from Close to My Heart, and came in the distressing kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and this is important. Don't pull this way on your paper because you could release it from the plate. Come to this side, and you just want to run this down until that paper is smooth around the edges. This may take a little while, so just work at it. Get it nice and smooth. Do that all the way around, and go ahead and do that on both plates. And I'm going to do that until it's done, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so here's my big plate, and I've trimmed out the edges all the way around, and I have my little plate done as well. It's all trimmed out. So what I'm going to do, I want to make a tiered tray. So I'm going to have them sitting kind of like this. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I purchased one of these from the dollar store, and by the way, this plate was $1. This plate was $1, and this was $1. So I have $3 in this right now because I didn't buy the Mod Podge. I already had it, and I didn't buy the paper because it's already in paper pack I bought for something else. So I'm literally at $3. I'm also going to use E6000, and I already have that. So, you know, if you have to purchase any of those things, it's going to change the price. But to be honest, if you need those things in your collection anyway, there you go. You have them, and you can, you know, you buy this one time, you can use it a whole lot. So here's what we're going to do. With this candlestick, I'm going to use some of my ATG. That won't work. Don't use your ATG. We're going to use some E6000. Now the thing I like to do with my E6000 is push from the bottom and barely push. If you just push a tiny bit, that adhesive will start to come up, and just, you know, you push until it starts to flow. Just a teeny bit. See, it's starting to come out. And now go to the product that you want to put it on, and don't squeeze. Just let it come out on its own, because that's the trick with this stuff. Once you kind of press it and change the air inside the tube, it kind of presses until there's room for more air in the tube, and that's what stops it from coming out. And I have found that I never have to squeeze it again after I get it flowing. Sometimes I have to stop it, so make sure you have plenty on this edge, because this is what's going to keep it together, but not so much that it looks real gloppy. To me, it's best if the excess rolls into the inside, then comes out on the outside. Okay, so see how it stopped? That's all you want to do. See how it stopped coming out? Don't squeeze anymore until you get, just until it starts to come out. And now I'm going to close it, and it'll be ready for next time. Now then, what you're going to do is you're going to center your plate and place this candlestick right in the center. And I'm going to use the camera to get my center. Let's turn it and look at it. Just turn it and turn it. And get that centered. And there's your first piece. And you want to press that so it gets a good seal. And then if you have any excess glue you want to run around with a Q-tip or a toothpick or something and clean that up, you can do that. Now we're going to put glue on the top of the candlestick right around the rim. I know this is hard to see because it's glass, but right around that rim. Again, I'm barely going to squeeze this. Let it start. Because I'm not squeezing it. I know it might look like I am, but I'm not squeezing it. I'm just letting it roll, and I'm just going to go around until it stops coming. Because as long as it's coming out, I don't want to waste it. And if I put my lid on right now, I'm never getting that lid off. Plus, you can always use extra on this because it's going to sit upright to dry. And it's starting to stop now. There we go. Not too messy if you do it that way, but you squeeze it too good and forget it. All right, and then I'm going to take my top plate and put it right on top of this piece. I know this is really hard to tell right now. I'm using my camera monitor to help me center that. But once we're done and I can take pictures, I'll be able to show you what it looks like. But basically you have 2 tiers and a candle in the middle. Let's see what happens if I just kind of tilt it for a second. Let me get my hand under there. So that's what it looks like, and I'll take pictures to show you everything. I'll have that on the video, at the end of the video and everything. So we've made ourselves a 2-tiered serving dish. Now, let me tell you a couple things about this. Do not wash this in, do not submerge this in water. Once this is all together, all you want to do is just take a damp cloth and wipe off the top, wipe off the other part. One thing I don't think I mentioned was after I adhered this down to the plate, I ran over the back of them with one more coat of Mod Podge to make that a little smoother. So if something does get on there, you can wipe that off. Just don't submerge it in water, because if there's any place where water can get into these edges, it's going to come loose. But that's how you can do a cute little 2-tiered tray for $3 that people will think you spent a lot more on. There you can see the 2 tiers. And there's nothing to it. So cute. Think about what you can do for Christmas. And I'm sure I'll be doing more for Christmas, because I have this Christmas cardstock that has this beautiful sleigh, and I just want it to show somewhere. I'm gonna put it right there. So I'll show you the ones I do for Christmas too. So there you go, guys. Another dollar decorating ideas. Just leave this to dry probably 24 hours. Don't make this the morning of. Maybe make this the day before, and then you'll be able to use it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.
And for more dollar decorating, visit maymaymadeit.com.
Hey guys, can I borrow $1?